the beginning. My name is Professor Heinrich Dosss. I come from Mainz, the loveliest town in Germany. I'm a proud father of a 10-year-old boy. That's the main point. Today we talk in the beginning. At first I have to say my English is not so good as this English from film. Okay? But I try to explain everything in this way that you can understand. Okay. We begin now at first with a little introduction. What is a picture? How we can create a picture? What is the message of the picture? Because I need a base. I need a base to explain you why we are developed the visual communication concept in this way we did it. Therefore, I have a little presentation about the basics of style a picture. We begin with reading. We all have eyes in our head, and we see. We are all professionals in reading pictures. We understand pictures normally very good and direct. Then composing, how I can handle with the surface of my communication movement. The background, a very important tool, and you know that the people always think marketing and designers are making hidden messages. Yes, we do. We do in the background and we do in color. I will explain. And after this, how to write a picture. How I come to the solution for a special communication project. We begin with these three buildings. Religious buildings from three different world religions. But something is similar. Does anybody see? Okay, the picture is in the night and there is a light, but does anybody see what's similar in these buildings, in the style of the building? And please silencio when I talk, because I don't want to have a late evening, no stimme. What is similar? From the architecture, from the style. What's similar?
The way they built.
The way they built, from stone, okay, but from the style. The thing is, all three buildings are in triangle composition. And this is there is a reason. And the reason is very simple. All religions say we was every time here because we are the house of God, which God you want, but every religion say we are timeless. We are here and we don't go away because God is every time with you. And that's the reason most things in religion are in three-angel composition, because three-angel composition is without any time direction. And it's a very stable kind of composition.
Why is this triangle?
I show. Look at this. We have three basic composition styles. We have the three-angle composition, that's calm, timeless, and stable. We have the diagonal composition, and this is the dynamic. They have a timeline and construct. And we have a circle composition, and they make different things to what? When you see in marketing, three-angle composition isn't very powerful because it's timeless. But sometimes it fits with the message. And in this way, diamonds are forever. It makes absolutely sense that it's a three-angle composition. And you see, also here, left side, right side, it's everything similar. Okay? But the German, the Deutsche Bank, everybody knows this. This is the logo, the icon is not three-angle. It's a diagonal composition. Does any... Yes. But does anybody see something wrong with this logo? It goes downstairs. Nobody wants to have a bank who goes down. That's the original sign. You see? The sign is a small part of the DAX index of the stock exchange. Okay? So, and you know this?
Yeah.
Why the left side goes up and why the right side goes down? Why do we read this in this way? Somebody an idea?
Because it's different on the right. Because when you're doing that, it's different when you're doing that.
But my question is, why do you? This is also down, and this is also up. But why? This traffic sign says it goes upstairs, and this traffic sign shows that it goes downstairs. Why?
Because we're reading that.
Exactly.
But there are lots of countries that read from
Yeah, and the Chinese people read from top to down. But that's the point. The point is that we have an international picture language. And the reason for this is that the Western world was the first, the US-American people makes the most international films, makes the most marketing worldwide. And then the whole world learned this kind of reading a picture. And it's something you have learned. It's not in our nature. Would we write from right to left? It would be on the opposite side. In the political sphere, it's very important in which direction a candidate looks. You see, it's a different feeling of the picture. And that's the point. We have time in a picture. The future is in reading direction. The past is again the reading direction, and timeless is the three-angle composition. And this also works in a picture. You see here, classical marketing, dynamic, a car has to be dynamic, it's a diagonal composition. In timeline, future. Okay? It's not every time in this way, because we have the war of pictures. You have so many pictures the whole day that sometimes the people say, okay, we don't take the future because it's used so often, it's nothing special. We take the other side. But normally, when we want to have the most dynamic, then really we go in this way. And there was, in the first election with Jan, we had the problem that he had one perfect side and one also perfect, but not so perfect. And we switched him. Nobody knows it. Not his parents asked him. We switched him because I want that he look in future and not in the past. Okay? And then last but not least, the circular composition. And this is good when you have single motifs to make a group of this. Also this you can see in classical marketing. Also when you have business with networking and so, you see often logos with a circle composition because it makes from single points a group. Okay? Okay, that's the basic composition. What we also have is the perspective. When you style a picture, the perspective is very important what the message means. I don't know, we have in Germany D-Max. It's a television broadcaster only for men. And you see there gold digger and car styling and all this. And when you see this, the people always be in a very hero situation. It seems they are very strong and tough. And there is a technique. The horizon, yeah, you know it. When you see this guy, I will do now nothing else. I don't change this guy. I only change the horizon. And look how the guy has another image. You see? He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger. Okay? nitro. Normal perspective, horizon in eye. And photography is super important. When you see this picture, the photograph was on the knees. And when you need a good photograph, don't ask him, do you drive a Porsche? Ask him, have your trousers on the knees holes. Then he's a good photograph, because he moves. And when you want to have a good photo, you have to move. He made this childs very strong. They are small childs, but together with this fun and this perspective from down to up, they make them strong. That's very natural. Because the girl is not important. They want to sell the clothes. This is a picture from H&M. And now this. Why does this photo work so good? Why? Has somebody an idea?
Trying to from up.
Sorry?
It looks like it's up, little bit from up.
Yes, it's a perspective of the parents, of the strong, and the child looks up with big eyes, and then imagine on the back of her would be a yellow, clean child SpongeBob thing. This photo wouldn't work. Nobody looked at the background, but your brain looked at it and interpreted correct the message of this picture. Now I show a small ad from Siri. It's from the start of Siri 10 years ago. Look at it and then we look exactly what they do.
Das ist das iPhone 4S mit Siri.
Did it work? That's not good. 1 second. This way.
Das ist das iPhone 4S mit Siri.
Erinnere mich ans Mädchen, wenn ich das Büro verlasse.
Okay, ich werde dich erinnern. Sag mal vorhin, ich hab das rechtzeitig. Hier ist eine Nachricht, Amina. Sie konnte das.
Ich konnte folgende Termine finden.
Brauche ich heute Abend einen Regenschirm?
Es sieht nicht nach Regen aus an dieser Arbeit.
Sag Hallo zum erstaunlichsten iPhone aller Zeiten.
So, okay. We begin with composition. That's a three-angle composition. It's very easy, very stable. Only the phone is in the foreground. Further right.
I don't know.
Oh, you're a perfect Englishman. But when you see the background of the picture, look at the color.
Front. Sorry. It's just front.
Just the front.
Background and front.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you see in the background this color, and it's very transparent. And this is the message Apple wants to transmit. And now the first target group. When we see here the composition, we have a diagonal composition. She looks backwards because she's the mother, and she Rücksicht. Gibt's das in English?
No. No.
No. She'll take care of the family, and she will be calm. Okay. And I don't know. I'm happy that I have a refrigerator at home, but my girl looks different. There is beer, there's a Coke, there's a ketchup, there's something not healthy. But when you see the background here, it seems that everything in the refrigerator is very healthy. It looks healthy and transparent. So, next one. This guy, he's dynamic. Also, diagonal composition, but in direction future. And he walked. And he walked fast. But he's not in stress. Why? Why he's not in stress? He walks really fast. But he seems that he's cool. we have no problems. Look at this guy in the background, he runs. And he's the reason that this guy in front, thank you, seems to be not in stress, but dynamic, okay? Without having no help. Next one, private situation. Like the first target group. Private situation. Why we know it suddenly, why we know it's private situation? Because of background. Imagine this door would be plain. Imagine in the backyard would be skyscrapers. The picture wouldn't transmit that it's a private situation. Also the child are important, they go to school, but all this your brain sees. Last one, that are you as target group. And you see it's not structured as the other pictures. In the background you see more chaos. Because it's allowed to be young and have a little chaos. And who knows what happened when somebody make this? What shows this to me? Spread. But after Siri said, oh, there will be no rain, she's happy about it. And last but not least, the main information. Not more, not less. There is no small dog, nothing. It's only the product, because in this 15 seconds you see the spot. The message has to be transmitted that you know which product you have to buy. And that's the reason there is only an apple sign and the product. Now you can say, oh, maybe on the airport this guy runs every time there. It was a big Zufall.
Coincidence.
A big coincidence. No.
This is the iPhone 4S with Siri. Das ist das iPhone 4S mit Siri. So, safe und Kaffees. Avec Siri. This is the iPhone 4S with Siri.
Want me to get milk when I leave work?
Here's your reminder for when you leave work. Tell her what I'm going to make it.
Here's your message to Anna.
Sag mal, Freundin, ich hab das echt erkannt.
Hier ist eine Nachricht von Ina.
The running man. Okay?
Tell my wife
Okay. Now we know we have to plan everything for a picture. And when you have a good picture language, you will know at once from which product this picture language is. Coke is a perfect example for this. Coke, and every time similar persons, similar models from all colors all over the world, and they play with colors. They make a higher gradation, stronger colors, and you see every time in the picture, in the photo, there is somewhere a little of the red of the Coke red. Okay? And that makes all the pictures similar. And you see at once it's one package. It comes from one business. Mercedes-Benz, very dry, very technique, very great. Okay? But also, it's no need to write down Mercedes-Benz. Everybody knows when you see a picture in this style that it is Mercedes-Benz. That's the reason the logo is so small. But you can also make big mistakes with photos. This was the beginning of the marketing strategy of McDonald's in USA. The consequence of a lot of burgers, we know everybody. Okay? That's the truth. And that was the problem. And this is what Philip said about the promise. They changed this picture style in this way that they don't show any use. Because this is the only option to be honest in the picture language, what the quality and the fat of this products that you understand it. This is the only way that they can make picture style without a bad information. Now it changed a little bit, but only with this fresh salad thing. Now there are people on the advertisements, but only when it goes about salad, about a wrap, or something like that. Okay, now you know how to read the picture. And now I want to tell you how we can develop a picture. The first thing is you need a motivation. The difference between art and design is artists have only the job to show his feelings or be very personal. Design every time has a job to do. And this you have to say. For example, we want more tourists for Paris. What motif comes suddenly in the brain? What sign is especially for Paris famous? Eiffel Tower. Okay. Then I can do it in this way. Job done. Want money from my customer. Or no? No, I don't think so. It's not enough to show something. You have to make a dramaturgy.
You have to tell a story.
Thank you. You have to tell a story. And you see now, the Eiffel Tower isn't in this way so clear seen. That means we have two ways to talk to the recipient. So, we have an emotional attraction and an iconographic, informal attraction. What does it mean? It means two different target groups. The right target group is when you are a fan of Paris and you walk your way and you see, look, there is my lovely town Paris. The emotional attraction is for the target group who says, I don't know where I want to make vacation. Maybe London, maybe, what is this? There's something red, and red is very active. That means there are two ways to communicate with pictures, basically an emotional and an iconographic approach. And the problem with all pictures is every time you fight against every other picture. When you are in this situation and your customer comes to you and say, please make an advertisement for this wall. I would make a big black thing with white typography on it, nothing more. Because everybody screams. To be special, you have to be silent. The surrounding is the enemy, every time. That means you have to take care that your picture is strong enough to impress the recipient. You see this insect. It's a great photo. When you see this insect live, you make yeah? But when you look exactly on it, you find points of view nobody else had done it before. And this is your job. You have to look for special perspectives. This is a very famous stair in Germany. It's from the Kanzleramt. And everybody makes the same photo from this stair. They come from front, stand on the stairs, and make a photo with Angela Merkel. I said no, I want to have a different point of view. And that was the reason I go outside and try to find a perspective where not so much people had made this photo. Okay? And that means nobody knows that this is the stairs from the Kanzleramt, but it's a nice picture from stairs. I told you this with the background, and it's really we have two sharp weapons, color and background. And I can tell you something with the background, and you can't ignore it. Look at this. Here's Jan in three situations. Everybody knows.
Good side or bad side?
Everybody knows that this is a Photoshop job. But you can't change that Jan is here on this photo more fresh, because it's the same photo, but he's here more fresh than here. Okay? And you can't change it. Your brain read it in this way. Also, when you know it's a Photoshop job. Okay? That means now I have to. So. So. And now I think I have you on a point where we can switch to our job with Jan. When we start with Jan 5 years ago, Philip told you we have a message. We want to position Jan in a new way. Normally in Germany, politicians make everything the same. Hello, my name is Heinrich Dosss. I want to be mayor of Kiev, and I'm honest, and I'm strong, and I hate women. And we changed it completely. Jan is a nice guy, and he is a nice guy. I have also other candidates. They are not so nice, and I can't tell people he's nice. But he is really a nice guy. He can very good communicate, he's a very good network. And that we have to communicate also in the visual communication. Overall is the idea, the corporate identity. And also he's a person, but he also needs a corporate identity, because the most people didn't see the first time Jan live, like you. For the most people, Jan is a print program. They see him in Facebook or in the newspaper, but not live. And that means that the corporate design from Jan have to transport all this content what was Jan standing for. And under the corporate identity is the corporate design, the corporate communication, the corporate behavior. Makes absolutely sense, because think it over. We have a situation where Jan is not there, but the people ask us why we should elect Jan for Bundestag. But why you have such an idiot question for me? I don't have time. Come on, go other way. Then I'm the ambassador of Jan, and I kill his image, because he said, such a guy worked with Jan? Jan couldn't be a nice guy. That means the whole team have to carry the corporate behavior and the corporate communication. That means we have a corporate design. now we changed to German, sorry, because this is the original presentation from the beginning of the election, election 5. Campaign. Okay, what does a corporate design? We know it. When you look football, or when you see soldiers in war, they have a corporate design. Because corporate design shows that people are one team. Okay? But corporate design says also, okay, we are not there. We are Bayern München and they are Borussia Dortmund. Okay? And important in a corporate design, especially in the political sphere, is corporate design have to be modular and logical. And this night in Ibis Hotel I get a call. Next Sunday is election in the city in Worms. And my candidate, Mr. Kessel, called me. I need at once new documents. And that's the problem. In political communication, you have to react in hours. Normally, a design process needs 40 days, 1 month. You don't have the time in a political situation. This morning, we get new information that's very horrible for us. We have to react permanently. That means your corporate design has to be easy. It has to be fast. You must have a practical, efficient design. And that was the beginning. Jan came 5 years, 6 years ago, came to my house. I know him since, 20 years, 25 years. And he came to my house and said, Henrik, I have decided I want to be in Bundestag. And I said, yes, Jan, that is good. I love intelligent politicals. They are not so often. And he came with this picture. What we have learned about composition. It's the normal point of view. That's everybody knows that's political. You can do the CDU way. Everybody knows classical political. And the problem is in Germany the people are full of classical political. They want people who work for them. Okay? And we changed it. And 5 years ago, that was a team with a head there, Ian, behind Jan, and there's Philip. You see?
With the sunglasses.
Yeah. And I show you now a few communication modules from the beginning, from 4 or 5 years. That you see there is a development. And this is a student from here. This is in Kiev. This is a student from here. And we said, okay, he is, in this moment, he was a no-name. And the parties give us normally a corporate design we have to use. But the CDU, 5 years ago, gave me a corporate design with an orange ball and so much color like a kindergarten. And I take the corporate design from 15 years ago and switched a little bit because blue is the absolutely color for trust. When you see a lot of banks, a lot of insurances have a blue logo. That works because blue is the color of trust. And that was the beginning. And the good thing was we didn't work with a claim. Normally, under the name of a politician, there are 3 or 5 words, and we said no. We show the people it is yours. It's your worker in Berlin for you. This is unser Jan. It's our Jan. And that is the whole claim. The our is the whole claim. And the funny thing is that this our gets a running gag in our region about France. So And that was the object. So, aber das wird jetzt noch etwas schleifen. So. Okay, and now we said our young, there is one punk. There was a carnival, and there was one punk guy. He really is not a CDU elector, really not. But he met Jan, and Jan gave him a glass of wine. And he really a punk guy said, "Oh, our Jan!" It was a viral thing. It was really great. And so we said, okay, our Jan also this time. So we began with this corporate design, and we have the problem that we are in Germany have now a party named AFD, and they are very national orientated. And the CDU said, we can't allow them to be the only party who is proud to be German. And that's the reason that we said, okay, we also take the German colors in our communication. When you see, 5 years ago, we didn't do it. Because in this time, it was not, it didn't fit. But now we need it, that it's inside. And then we developed the design. Everything was fixed. Then I get a call. CDU Berlin have a new corporate design. Okay, everything was done, and I began new. But the style guide was very good. And now I show you a few communication modules. So, and you see now, normally politicians have a
Tie.
have a tie, and not with this, but we want to show that he's able to work. Okay? And the funny thing is, when we make presentation for the team or so, we all stand in front with white and white shirt, business shirts, and in this way. We all go there. And that's really, it's a big difference for Germany. Normally, politicians, every time, like he's now, but in this way, we motivate the people to say, it's yours, yeah. And also this little smile about himself. That also a politician can have humor. And look at this, it's a drawing. You have to laugh about yourself, then the people understand that you are honest. And you see this over shoulder? That's a very strong photo. And it was hard. We used it often because it shows exactly the Markenkern, the
core brand.
The core brand. This photo is what we want that people feel about it. So that was for outside and bigger, and every time in the same CI, you see picture language very similar, every time the same colors. And one small story about this. This is really, I love this bus. 5 years ago, he was totally blue, and with the old style, and a year ago they fixed it and repaired it, and we make it with this. Our main enemy from the SPD had a brand new red giant truck, and Jan came with this. But what does the people think? The people think, look at this. He tried to be efficient with money. That's also a part of communication. That you don't say, I take the expensive sprint with high glow and all this. That's for political bad, because people see, oh, he has too much money. Huh? And the people are jealous in Germany. We are in Germany, when somebody is rich, people in Germany are often very jealous, and therefore we said, okay, this old bus. And really this old bus, the people loved him. There are clouds of dark clouds in the back of this car, but the people loved it when they come and yeah. And that's a few minutes, and you are. Then Jan is there, and this is our. It's really without his name, it works anyway, because somebody don't want to make communication for Jan directly. He loves aber his region. Then our Rhine-Hessen, everybody understands in this region that this means our Jan.
He is dead.
So. And now, Mr. Jan Metzler.